For centuries, the Galactic Empire had reigned supreme, expanding its influence across the stars and subjugating countless civilizations under its iron-fisted rule. Its towering fleet of colossal spacecraft and legions of loyal soldiers were a testament to the Empire's might, instilling fear and awe in those who dared to challenge its authority. However, the Empire's insatiable hunger for power and dominance had yet to be sated. Its eyes had now turned to a small, unassuming planet nestled in a remote corner of the galaxy, a world known as Earth, inhabited by a curious species called humans. The Galactic ambassadors, adorned in their regal attire, arrived on Earth with an air of condescension and superiority. They had expected the primitive humans to fall in line without a moment's hesitation, eager to reap the benefits of being part of the great Galactic Empire. But as the ambassadors made their way through the bustling cities and towering metropolises of Earth, they were met with a surprising sight. The humans, far from the simple, backwards creatures the Empire had envisioned, were a civilization brimming with advanced technology, complex societies, and a fiercely independent spirit. Skyscrapers that scraped the heavens, lightning-fast modes of transportation, and wondrous feats of engineering left the ambassadors in a state of bewilderment. "This cannot be," muttered one of the ambassadors, his brow furrowed in confusion. "The reports we received claimed these humans were primitive, easily subjugated. Yet what we see before us is a level of sophistication that rivals even some of our own colonies." The lead ambassador, a seasoned diplomat named Xyloth, raised a hand to silence his colleague. "Patience, my friend. These humans may surprise us, but they are still no match for the might of the Galactic Empire. We shall proceed with our negotiations as planned and bring them into the fold, whether they like it or not." With renewed determination, the ambassadors made their way to the seat of human governance, where they were greeted by the leaders of the various nations of Earth. The humans, sensing the true intent behind the ambassadors' visit, steeled themselves for a confrontation. "Greetings, representatives of the Galactic Empire," said the President of the United States, her voice firm and unwavering. "We have been expecting you. What is it that you desire from our people?" Xyloth stepped forward, his imposing figure casting a shadow over the human leaders. "We have come to offer you a chance to join the Galactic Empire, to bask in the glory and prosperity that our civilization has to offer. Your primitive ways will be elevated, and your people will enjoy the benefits of our advanced technology and resources." The human leaders exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of skepticism and defiance. "And what if we refuse your offer?" asked the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Xyloth's eyes narrowed, his voice taking on a harder edge. "Refusal is not an option. The Galactic Empire does not tolerate dissent or disobedience. You will submit to our authority, or face the consequences." The room fell silent, the tension palpable as the human leaders contemplated the gravity of the situation. They knew that defying the Galactic Empire would be a perilous gamble, but the thought of surrendering their hard-won independence was unthinkable. After a moment, the President of the United States stepped forward, her chin held high. "The people of Earth have fought long and hard for our freedom and self-determination. We will not simply hand it over to an empire that seeks to subjugate us. If you wish to integrate us into your galactic civilization, then you must prove yourselves worthy of our trust and cooperation." Xyloth's expression darkened, his hands clenching into fists. "You dare to challenge the might of the Galactic Empire? Such insolence will not be tolerated. We have given you the opportunity to join us, and you have squandered it. Prepare to face the consequences of your actions." The human leaders braced themselves, fully aware that they were now staring down the barrel of a cosmic confrontation that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The tension in the room was palpable as the Galactic ambassadors glared at the defiant human leaders. The representatives of Earth had dared to challenge the might of the Galactic Empire, a bold move that few civilizations had ever attempted and survived. Xyloth, the lead ambassador, clenched his fists, his patience wearing thin. "You have made a grave mistake, humans. The Galactic Empire does not tolerate such blatant disrespect and refusal to submit to our authority. The President of the United States stood her ground, her eyes meeting Psylof's with unwavering determination. We are not here to submit, Ambassador. We are here to negotiate as equals, to prove that we are worthy of our independence and autonomy. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the gathering of human leaders, their resolve only strengthening in the face of the Galactic Empire's ultimatum. Psylof's expression darkened, and he raised a hand, signaling for his fellow ambassadors to step forward. Very well, if you insist on defying us, then you shall face the full might of the Galactic Empire. We will give you a chance to prove yourselves, but know that failure will result in your complete and utter subjugation. The human leaders exchanged glances, understanding the gravity of the situation. They had gambled on their ability to stand up to the Galactic Empire, and now they would have to back up their words with tangible proof of their worth. Unbeknownst to the Galactic ambassadors, the humans had been carefully concealing the true extent of their technological and military capabilities. For decades, they had been quietly developing advanced weapons, spacecraft, and other technologies that rivaled, and in some cases, surpassed the Galactic Empire's own achievements. As the ambassadors laid out their challenges, the human leaders revealed these hidden assets, stunning the galactic representatives with their impressive display of power and innovation. Xylot's eyes widened as he witnessed the humans' advanced weaponry, their lightning-fast spacecraft, and their vast array of cutting-edge technologies. Impossible, he muttered, his confidence beginning to waver. How could these primitive creatures have achieved such feats? The President of the United States smiled, a glint of triumph in her eyes. We are not as primitive as you believed, Ambassador. We have been quietly developing our own capabilities, waiting for the day when we would have the opportunity to prove our worth to the Galactic Empire. Psylot's brow furrowed, his mind racing as he tried to comprehend the implications of this revelation. But how? How could you have kept this hidden from us for so long? The human leaders remained silent, their expressions unwavering. They had no intention of revealing the full extent of their knowledge and abilities, not until the Galactic Empire had proven itself worthy of their trust and cooperation. Realizing that he had underestimated the humans, Psylof began to doubt the Empire's ability to easily subjugate Earth. The reports they had received had clearly been inaccurate, and the humans' unexpected technological prowess was a troubling development. Psyloff turned to his fellow ambassadors, his voice lowered to a hushed whisper. Something is not right here. These humans have been concealing their true capabilities from us. We must tread carefully, lest we underestimate them again and suffer a humiliating defeat. The other ambassadors nodded in agreement, their own expressions betraying a newfound sense of unease. The once confident representatives of the Galactic Empire were now faced with a puzzling and potentially dangerous situation. As the negotiations continued, the human leaders held their ground, refusing to back down despite the Galactic Empire's threats and demands. They knew that the fate of their entire civilization hung in the balance, and they were determined to prove their worth and earn their rightful place in the cosmic landscape. The Galactic ambassadors, their initial arrogance giving way to a growing sense of uncertainty, found themselves in an unexpected and precarious position. The humans, once dismissed as primitive, had revealed a hidden potential that threatened to upend the very foundations of the Galactic Empire's dominance. The stage was set for a titanic clash of civilizations, one that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. The Galactic ambassadors, their confidence shaken by the humans' unexpected technological prowess, found themselves in uncharted territory. The once certain path to the subjugation of Earth had become a treacherous minefield, fraught with uncertainty and the potential for a humiliating defeat. Psyloff, the lead ambassador, paced the confines of the negotiation chamber, his brow furrowed in deep contemplation. "This changes everything," he muttered, his gaze darting between his fellow representatives. "We can no longer simply demand the humans' surrender and integration into the Galactic Empire. They have proven themselves to be a formidable adversary, one that we cannot afford to underestimate." The other ambassadors nodded in agreement, their expressions mirroring the growing unease that had taken hold of the galactic delegation. They had come to Earth expecting a swift and effortless victory, only to be confronted with a civilization that had been concealing its true technological and military capabilities. Hyloth paused, turning to face the human leaders who had gathered before them. "Very well. It appears we have underestimated you, humans. We no longer can simply demand your submission to the Galactic Empire. Instead, we propose a series of challenges, tests that will determine whether you are worthy of autonomy and self-governance." The human leaders exchanged glances, their expressions hardening with determination. They understood the gravity of the situation. Failure to meet the Galactic Empire's demands could result in the complete subjugation of their civilization. But they were also unwilling to compromise their hard-won independence and the principles they held dear. "And what are these challenges you speak of, Ambassador?" asked the President of the United States, her voice steady and unwavering. Xyloth's lips curled into a thin smile. "We shall devise a series of tasks that will put your technological and military prowess to the test. If you succeed, we shall grant you the autonomy you seek. But if you fail, you will have no choice but to surrender to the Galactic Empire." The human leaders remained silent, their minds racing as they weighed the implications of Xyloth's proposal. They knew that the Galactic Empire was not to be trifled with, but they also understood that the fate of their civilization hung in the balance. After a moment of tense deliberation, the President of the United States stepped forward, her chin held high. "Very well, Ambassador. We accept your challenge. But know this, should we succeed, we expect the Galactic Empire to grant us full autonomy and independence, with no further threats or demands for our submission." Xyloth's eyes narrowed, his grip tightening on the ornate staff he carried. "You drive a hard bargain, human. But so be it. If you are confident in your abilities, then you shall have your chance to prove yourselves worthy." The Galactic ambassadors retreated to their quarters, their discussion hushed and intense. Xyloth's brow was furrowed, his mind racing with the implications of the humans' defiance. "This is a dangerous gamble," he murmured, his gaze fixed on the holographic display before him. "We cannot afford to underestimate these humans again. If they succeed in these challenges, it would be a devastating blow to the Galactic Empire's authority and prestige." One of the other ambassadors, a veteran named Zilara, nodded in agreement. "Indeed. And if they fail, we must be prepared to crush them with the full force of the Galactic Empire. We cannot allow this act of defiance to go unanswered." Xyloth's expression darkened, his hands clenching into fists. "Then so be it. We shall devise the most formidable challenges, tests that will push the limits of the humans' capabilities. If they cannot meet our demands, we shall have no choice but to subjugate them and integrate them into the Galactic Empire, regardless of the cost." The ambassadors began to formulate their plans, their voices hushed and tense. The fate of the humans, and the very future of the Galactic Empire, hung in the balance. As the negotiations continued, the air in the chamber grew thick with tension. The two civilizations locked in a high-stakes game of wits and determination. The stage was set for a confrontation that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. The negotiations between the Galactic ambassadors and the human leaders had reached a critical juncture. After the humans' unexpected display of technological prowess, the Galactic Empire found itself in an uncharted and precarious position, forced to reconsider its approach to the integration of Earth into its vast interstellar domain. Xyloth, the lead ambassador, had proposed a series of challenges to determine the worthiness of the humans for autonomy and self-governance. The human leaders, aware of the high stakes at play, had reluctantly agreed to this proposal, determined to prove their capabilities and secure their independence. As the Galactic ambassadors retreated to devise the first challenge, the human leaders convened to strategize their approach. They knew that the Galactic Empire would not make this easy, and that each task would be designed to push the limits of their abilities. "We must be vigilant," said the President of the United States, her gaze sweeping across the assembled leaders. The Galactic Empire will not hold back. They will test us to the fullest, seeking any weakness or vulnerability they can exploit. The other leaders nodded in agreement, their expressions grim but resolute. They had come too far to back down now, and they were determined to prove to the Galactic Empire that the people of Earth were worthy of their independence. Days later, the Galactic ambassadors returned, their expressions betraying a mixture of confidence and trepidation. Xyloth stepped forward, his voice booming across the negotiation chamber. "Humans of Earth, we have devised the first challenge that will determine your worthiness. You will face off against the finest military and scientific minds of the Galactic Empire in a series of simulated combat scenarios and technological competitions." The human leaders exchanged glances, their expressions hardening with resolve. They had been preparing for this moment, leveraging their hidden technological prowess and military might to devise strategies and solutions that would put the Galactic Empire's capabilities to the test. "We accept your challenge, Ambassador," the President of the United States declared, her voice unwavering, "and we shall prove to you that we are more than worthy of the autonomy we seek." The first challenge commenced, with the human and galactic representatives engaging in a series of intense simulations and competitions. The Galactic Empire's best and brightest brought their full arsenal of advanced weaponry, sophisticated spacecraft, and cutting-edge technologies to bear, confident in their ability to overwhelm the humans. But to their growing consternation, the humans refused to be intimidated. Time and time again, they demonstrated their own impressive capabilities, matching the Galactic Empire's might with innovative solutions and adaptable strategies. Xyloth watched the proceedings, his brow furrowed in a mix of frustration and grudging admiration. "How can this be?" he muttered, his hands clenching into tight fists. "Our forces are the finest in the galaxy, yet these humans manage to hold their own, and in some cases, even surpass our achievements." The other ambassadors murmured in agreement, their expressions betraying a growing sense of unease. They had come to Earth expecting a swift and decisive victory, only to find themselves in a high-stakes contest where the outcome was far from certain. As the challenges continued, the human leaders repeatedly outmaneuvered and outperformed their galactic counterparts, showcasing their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and sheer determination. The Galactic ambassadors, once so certain of their superiority, found themselves increasingly humbled and impressed by the capabilities of the human race. Xyloth, his pride wounded, could no longer deny the truth. The humans were not the primitive, easily subjugated civilization the Galactic Empire had envisioned. They were a force to be reckoned with, a people who had hidden their true potential and now stood ready to assert their right to self-governance. The first challenge concluded, and the Galactic ambassadors retreated to deliberate the results. Xyloth's expression was grave, his shoulders weighed down by the implications of the human success. "This changes everything," he murmured, his gaze fixed on the holographic displays before him. "We can no longer dismiss the humans as mere primitives. They have proven themselves to be a formidable adversary, one that may be worthy of the autonomy they seek." The other ambassadors nodded, their own expressions reflecting the growing unease that had taken hold of the Galactic delegation. The once confident representatives of the Galactic Empire now found themselves facing a future that was increasingly uncertain, one where the humans' potential could upset the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. As they prepared for the next challenge, the Galactic ambassadors knew that they could no longer underestimate the humans. The stakes had been raised, and the fate of the Galactic Empire itself now hung in the balance. The Galactic ambassadors, their initial confidence shaken by the humans' impressive performance in the first challenge, gathered to devise the next test that would determine the fate of Earth's future. Xyloth, the lead envoy, paced the confines of the negotiation chamber, his brow furrowed in deep contemplation. "We cannot underestimate these humans again," he said, his voice laced with a hint of frustration. "Their ability to adapt and overcome our challenges has caught us off guard. We must push them further, devise tasks that will truly test the limits of their capabilities. The other ambassadors nodded in agreement, their expressions reflecting the growing unease that had taken hold of the galactic delegation. They had come to Earth expecting a swift and easy victory, only to find themselves confronted by a civilization that had been concealing its true potential. "What if we present them with a challenge that seems truly insurmountable?" suggested Zilara, one of the more experienced ambassadors. "Something that would push the boundaries of their technological and innovative prowess to the breaking point." Xyloth considered the proposal, his eyes narrowing. "Yes, that could work. We must design a task that will leave the humans with no choice but to push the limits of their abilities. If they fail, it will be a clear sign of their inferiority and the necessity for their integration into the Galactic Empire." With renewed determination, the ambassadors set to work, devising a series of increasingly complex and demanding challenges that would put the humans' ingenuity and resourcefulness to the ultimate test. As the galactic representatives presented the new challenges to the human leaders, the latter did not flinch. Instead, they gathered their brightest minds and most skilled individuals, determined to prove their worth and secure their independence. The challenges that followed were unlike anything the humans had encountered before. They were faced with problems that seemed to defy even the most advanced of their technologies and scientific knowledge. Yet, time and time again, the human teams found innovative solutions, leveraging their creativity and problem-solving skills to overcome the seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The galactic ambassadors watched in awe as the humans repeatedly defied their expectations. Xyloth, once so confident in the Galactic Empire's superiority, found himself increasingly impressed by the sheer ingenuity and adaptability of the human race. "How are they doing this?" he murmured, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays that showcased the humans' progress. "Their solutions are not just impressive, but in some cases, even surpass our own technological advancements." The other ambassadors exchanged glances, their expressions mirroring Xyloth's growing sense of bewilderment. They had come to Earth expecting to assert the Galactic Empire's dominance, but now they found themselves in the unfamiliar position of being the ones in awe of the humans' capabilities. As the challenges continued, the galactic ambassadors began to question the foundations of their own beliefs and the assumptions that had guided the Galactic Empire's approach to other civilizations. The humans were proving to be far more than just a primitive species waiting to be subjugated. They were a civilization brimming with potential, one that could potentially stand as equals, or even surpass, the might of the Empire. Xyloth, his pride now tempered by a growing sense of respect, realized that the stakes had changed. The Galactic Empire could no longer simply demand the humans' surrender and integration. It had to earn their trust and cooperation through a genuine demonstration of its own worthiness. "We must reconsider our approach," he said, addressing his fellow ambassadors. "These humans have shown us that they are not to be underestimated. We must find a way to acknowledge their capabilities and negotiate with them as true equals, not as subjects to be conquered." The other ambassadors nodded, their expressions grave. They understood that the future of the Galactic Empire itself now hung in the balance, and that failure to secure the cooperation of the human civilization could have far-reaching consequences. As the challenges continued, the galactic ambassadors found themselves increasingly in awe of the humans' ingenuity and resourcefulness. The once confident representatives of the Empire now faced the unsettling prospect of having to reckon with a civilization that had the potential to challenge the very foundations of their power and dominance. The stage was set for a pivotal moment in the history of the galaxy, where the fate of two civilizations would hang in the balance, with neither side willing to back down from the high-stakes confrontation that lay ahead. The galactic ambassadors, their initial confidence shaken by the humans' impressive performance in the previous challenges, gathered once more to devise the final test that would determine the fate of Earth's future. Xyloth, the lead envoy, stood before his fellow representatives, his expression a mix of determination and trepidation. "We can no longer underestimate these humans," he began, his voice carrying a hint of resignation. Their ingenuity and adaptability have proven to be a true force to be reckoned with. If we are to maintain the Galactic Empire's dominance, we must devise a challenge that will truly push the limits of their capabilities. The other ambassadors nodded, their brows furrowed in deep thought. They had witnessed firsthand the humans' ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles, and they knew that this final challenge would be the ultimate test of their worthiness. Zilara, one of the veteran ambassadors, stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. Then let us present them with a task that will truly test the boundaries of their technological and innovative prowess, something that will push them to their absolute limits and force them to rely on their most ingenious and daring solutions. Siloth considered the proposal, his mind racing. Yes, that is precisely what we must do. We shall devise a challenge that will leave the humans with no choice but to stretch the limits of their abilities. If they succeed, then we shall be forced to acknowledge their worthiness and grant them the autonomy they seek. The Galactic Ambassadors set to work, brainstorming and refining their final challenge, determined to leave the humans with no avenue for victory. They knew that failure to succeed in this final test would result in the humans' complete and utter subjugation, a prospect that now filled them with a growing sense of unease. As the Galactic Ambassadors presented the challenge to the human leaders, the air in the room grew thick with tension. The task they had devised was indeed a formidable one, pushing the boundaries of what the humans had previously accomplished. The human leaders exchanged glances, their expressions betraying a mix of trepidation and resolve. They knew that the fate of their civilization hung in the balance, and they were determined to prove their worth and secure their independence. Without hesitation, the human leaders gathered their brightest minds and most skilled individuals, assembling a team that would tackle the Galactic Empire's final challenge. They worked tirelessly, pushing the limits of their knowledge and creativity, driven by a fierce determination to overcome the seemingly insurmountable obstacles that lay before them. Days turned into weeks, and the tension in the negotiation chamber grew palpable as the Galactic Ambassadors watched the humans' progress. Siloth, his brow furrowed in a mix of frustration and grudging admiration, found himself increasingly anxious about the outcome of the challenge. Finally, the human team emerged, their expressions triumphant. They had succeeded in the Galactic Empire's final challenge, proving their worth and their ability to stand as equal partners in the cosmic landscape. The Galactic Ambassadors, stunned by the humans' accomplishment, exchanged glances, the realization of their defeat slowly sinking in. Siloth, his pride wounded, knew that they had no choice but to acknowledge the humans' success and grant them the autonomy they had fought for. "Humans of Earth," he began, his voice strained, "you have proven yourselves worthy. Your ingenuity and determination have shattered our preconceptions and challenged the very foundations of the Galactic Empire. We have no choice but to grant you the independence and self-governance you have earned." The human leaders stood tall, their expressions a mix of triumph and relief. They had faced down the mighty Galactic Empire and emerged victorious, a testament to the strength and resilience of the human race. As the Galactic Ambassadors conceded defeat and began the process of granting Earth its independence, a sense of awe and respect began to take root within the Empire's ranks. They realized that the humans were not mere primitives to be subjugated, but a civilization worthy of their place among the stars. The news of the humans' triumph quickly spread throughout the Galactic Empire, sparking a wave of admiration and introspection. Other civilizations under the Empire's rule began to question the validity of its claims of superiority, and calls for reform and greater cooperation echoed throughout the cosmos. The Galactic Empire, once a bastion of unquestioned power, now found itself at a crossroads, forced to reckon with the implications of the humans' ascension and the potential for a new era of galactic cooperation and mutual respect. As the dust settled, the human leaders looked towards the future, their eyes shining with a newfound sense of purpose and confidence. They had not only secured their independence, but had also established themselves as a formidable force in the cosmic landscape, ready to forge their own path and shape the destiny of the galaxy. The Galactic Ambassadors, their faces etched with a mixture of resignation and grudging respect, stood before the human leaders, conceding defeat. After a series of grueling challenges that had pushed the limits of human ingenuity and technological prowess, the people of Earth had emerged victorious, earning their long-sought independence from the mighty Galactic Empire. Xyloth, the lead ambassador, cleared his throat, his voice laced with a hint of reluctance. "Humans of Earth, you have proven yourselves worthy. Your determination and resourcefulness have shattered our preconceptions and challenged the very foundations of the Galactic Empire. We have no choice but to grant you the autonomy and self-governance you have so rightfully earned." The human leaders, their expressions a blend of triumph and relief, stood tall, their years of hard-fought struggle finally bearing fruit. The President of the United States stepped forward, her gaze unwavering as she addressed the galactic representatives. "We are grateful for your acknowledgement of our accomplishments, Ambassador. The people of Earth have long dreamed of this day, when we could stand as equals among the stars, free to forge our own destiny without the constraints of your empire's rule." Xyloth nodded, his eyes reflecting a newfound sense of respect for the human race. "Indeed, your achievements have been nothing short of remarkable. We had underestimated your potential, and for that, we must acknowledge our own short-sightedness." The other ambassadors shifted uncomfortably, their expressions mirroring the weight of the moment. They knew that this historic decision would reverberate across the galaxy, challenging the very foundations of the Galactic Empire's dominance. As the negotiations concluded and the Galactic Ambassadors made their preparations to depart, the human leaders turned their attention to the future, their minds brimming with a sense of limitless potential. "Today, we have proven our worth not just to the Galactic Empire, but to the entire cosmos," the President declared, her voice ringing with pride. "We are no longer confined to the boundaries of our small planet. The galaxy lies before us, and we are ready to embrace our role as equal partners in shaping its destiny." The other human leaders nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with a newfound determination. They had faced down the might of the Galactic Empire and emerged victorious, and now they were poised to take their place among the stars, ready to share their knowledge, technology, and ideas with the wider galactic community. In the days and weeks that followed, the news of Earth's independence and the humans' triumph over the Galactic Empire spread like wildfire throughout the cosmos. Other civilizations, long subjugated under the Empire's rule, began to question the validity of its claims of superiority, and calls for reform and greater cooperation echoed across the galaxy. The Galactic Empire, once a bastion of unchallenged power, now found itself at a crossroads. Its representatives, once so confident in their ability to subdue any challenger, struggled to come to terms with the implications of Earth's ascension and the potential for a new era of galactic cooperation. As the human leaders began to explore the vastness of the cosmos, they were met with awe and respect from other civilizations. The humans' ingenuity, resourcefulness, and unwavering spirit had captured the imagination of the galaxy, inspiring others to seek out new avenues of collaboration and exchange. The once isolated Earth quickly became a beacon of hope and progress, its people sharing their knowledge and technologies, and forging new alliances with diverse alien cultures. The humans' thirst for exploration and discovery fueled their expansion into the stars, and they soon established themselves as a formidable presence in the cosmic landscape. Xyloth, the Galactic Ambassador, watched these developments with a mix of emotions. He had once seen the humans as mere primitives, but now he recognized them as equals, worthy of their place among the great civilizations of the galaxy. "The future we once envisioned for the Galactic Empire has been forever altered," he mused, his gaze fixed on the holographic displays that chronicled the humans' rapid ascension. "We must adapt, embrace change, and find a way to coexist with this remarkable species, lest we risk being left behind in the cosmic order." As the Galactic Empire began the process of reform and greater cooperation, the human leaders stood at the forefront of a new era of galactic exploration and collaboration. Their triumph over the mighty empire had not only secured their independence, but had also established them as a beacon of hope and progress, shaping the destiny of the cosmos for generations to come. The news of the humans' triumph over the Galactic Empire sent shockwaves throughout the cosmos, shaking the very foundations of the interstellar civilization that had ruled with an iron fist for centuries. As the galactic ambassadors returned to their homeworlds, the reverberations of Earth's newfound independence began to be felt across the galaxy. Xyloth, the lead ambassador, stood before his fellow representatives, his expression a mixture of resignation and unease. "The implications of our failure to subjugate the humans are far-reaching," he began, his voice tinged with a hint of trepidation. "Their success has not only secured their own autonomy, but has also called into question the validity of the Galactic Empire's authority." The other ambassadors nodded solemnly, their brows furrowed in deep contemplation. They had witnessed firsthand the humans' remarkable ingenuity and technological prowess, traits that had shattered their preconceptions and challenged the very essence of the Empire's dominance. "We have long prided ourselves on our ability to conquer and assimilate lesser civilizations into our fold," Zulara, one of the veteran ambassadors, spoke up. "But the humans have proven themselves to be anything but lesser. Their defiance has struck a blow to the Galactic Empire's prestige, and it will not be easily forgotten or forgiven." Xyloth paced the conference room, his hands clasped behind his back. "Indeed, the other colonies and subject worlds under our rule have begun to question the legitimacy of our authority. They have seen the humans defy us, and they are emboldened to do the same." The atmosphere in the chamber grew tense as the galactic ambassadors grappled with the implications of their failure. They knew that the mere existence of an independent human civilization, one that had successfully resisted the Empire's might, would serve as a rallying cry for those seeking to challenge the status quo. "We must act swiftly and decisively," Xyloth declared, his voice rising with a sense of urgency. "The Galactic Empire cannot afford to appear weak or vulnerable. We must demonstrate our power and quash any nascent movements of resistance before they gain traction." The other ambassadors murmured in agreement, their expressions hardening with determination. They understood the gravity of the situation and the need to reassert the Empire's dominance, lest they risk the unraveling of the very foundations upon which their civilization was built. As the galactic ambassadors set in motion a series of initiatives aimed at quelling the growing unrest, the human leaders on Earth watched the developments with a mix of trepidation and resolve. They knew that the Galactic Empire would not simply accept their independence without a fight, and they prepared themselves for the inevitable confrontation that lay ahead. Throughout the Galactic Empire, the news of the humans' triumph spread like wildfire, inspiring other civilizations to question the legitimacy of the Empire's rule. Whispers of rebellion and calls for reform echoed across the stars as the once unquestioned authority of the Galactic Empire began to crumble. In the corridors of power, the galactic ambassadors found themselves embroiled in intense debates and power struggles, as factions within the Empire vie for control and the right to determine the path forward. The once monolithic structure of the Galactic Empire began to show cracks as the implications of the human success continued to reverberate throughout the cosmos. Xyloth, his brow furrowed in deep thought, knew that the Galactic Empire stood at a crossroads. They could either double down on their efforts to subjugate the humans and quell the growing unrest, or they could embrace a new era of cooperation and reform, one that would require them to fundamentally rethink their approach to governance and their relationships with other civilizations. As the tensions continued to rise, the human leaders on Earth watched the developments with a keen eye, ready to defend their hard-won independence and their place in the galactic community. They understood that the struggle was far from over, and that the Galactic Empire would stop at nothing to reassert its dominance. The stage was set for a pivotal clash, one that would determine the future of not just the Galactic Empire, but the entire cosmic landscape. The humans, once dismissed as mere primitives, now stood as equal partners in the galactic order, ready to shape the destiny of the stars. The reverberations of the humans' triumph over the galactic empire continued to echo through the stars, inspiring a wave of change and introspection that would forever alter the course of the cosmic landscape. As the once mighty interstellar civilization grappled with the implications of its failure to subjugate the people of Earth, a new era of cooperation and mutual respect began to take root. Psylocke, the galactic ambassador who had witnessed the humans' remarkable ascension, found himself at the forefront of the Empire's efforts to adapt and evolve. He recognized that the old ways of domination and subjugation were no longer tenable, and that the Galactic Empire would need to embrace a more equitable and inclusive approach if it hoped to maintain its relevance in the ever-changing galactic order. "The humans have opened our eyes to a new way of thinking," Psylocke declared, his voice carrying a newfound sense of conviction. "We can no longer cling to the outdated notions of our superiority. Instead, we must learn from them, forge partnerships, and work together to shape a future where all civilizations can prosper." The other galactic ambassadors, once staunch defenders of the Empire's traditional policies, found themselves increasingly swayed by Psylocke's words. They had witnessed the humans' remarkable achievements and the growing unrest among the Galactic Empire's subject worlds, and they recognized the pressing need for fundamental reform. As the Galactic Empire embarked on a path of transformation, the human leaders on Earth watched with a mixture of cautious optimism and watchful vigilance. They had no intention of surrendering their hard-won independence, but they were also open to the possibility of collaborative endeavors that would benefit both their civilization and the wider galactic community. Under the guidance of the galactic ambassadors, the Galactic Empire began to evolve, shedding its rigid hierarchical structure in favor of a more inclusive and cooperative model. The once dominant civilization now sought to engage with other civilizations as equal partners, fostering an environment of mutual respect, technological exchange, and cultural exploration. The humans, recognizing the value of this new approach, eagerly embraced the opportunity to participate in the shaping of the galactic order. They shared their knowledge, their technologies, and their innovative spirit, forging alliances and establishing themselves as respected members of the cosmic community. As the Galactic Confederation, as it came to be known, gained momentum, the human civilization emerged as a beacon of hope and progress, inspiring other worlds to follow in their footsteps. The once isolated Earth became a thriving hub of galactic exploration and collaboration, its people venturing out into the stars and establishing footholds on distant worlds. Psylocke, now a central figure in the Galactic Confederation's governing council, marveled at the transformation that had taken place. He had once viewed the humans as mere primitives, but now he recognized them as vital partners in the ongoing quest for a more harmonious and prosperous galactic future. "The humans have taught us the value of humility, of embracing diversity, and of working together towards a common goal," Psylocke remarked, his expression reflecting a newfound sense of purpose. Their triumph has not only reshaped the Galactic Empire, but has also paved the way for a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding across the cosmos. The once formidable Galactic Empire had evolved into a more equitable and inclusive Galactic Confederation, with the humans playing a pivotal role in guiding its transformation. The walls of isolation and rigid hierarchy had been replaced by an open exchange of ideas, technologies, and cultural traditions, as civilizations from across the galaxy came together to chart a course towards a brighter future. As the human leaders looked out into the vastness of the cosmos, they could not help but feel a sense of pride and purpose. They had not only secured their independence, but had also established themselves as an integral part of the galactic community, shaping the destiny of the stars with their ingenuity, determination, and unwavering spirit. The triumph of the human race had forever altered the balance of power in the galaxy, shattering the myth of the Galactic Empire's invincibility and paving the way for a new era of cooperation, progress, and boundless potential. The once isolated Earth had become a beacon of hope, inspiring others to reach for the stars and forge their own path in the cosmic landscape. As the Galactic Confederation continued to evolve, the human civilization stood tall, its people ready to face the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. The journey had been long and arduous, but their triumph over the Galactic Empire had proven that the human spirit could not be broken, and that their rightful place among the stars was one of equality, respect, and boundless potential.